So Ravens flock, I got another video today because we just got some breaking news earlier this evening. Ian Rappaport just broke the story that Ravens safety, one of the most underrated players on this Ravens team, Darius Washington, has torn his Achilles. Apparently, he tore it during his conditioning program while he was working out, preparing for the season. And of course, if it's an Achilles tear, then it's pretty much a guarantee that he will not be playing this upcoming season. Now, this is a major blow to both the team and Darius because Darius is one of those unsung heroes who had that sort of play style where he played like a Raven. He didn't let his smaller size get in the way. He made plays whenever necessary. Most notably, the best example I think would be that goal line stop that he had against Joe Mixon during the Houston Texans game on Christmas last year. So he was a really solid player who had worked his way up into becoming the solidified starter next to Kyle Hamilton, the number 2 safety next to Kyle Hamilton. He was one of the best performing strong safeties last year. Like, he was on PFF, he was the 11th highest rated strong safety in the league. He was coming off of obviously a career year, 2 picks. He had 7 pass breakups, which was the 7th highest among strong safeties and one of the highest among all safeties in general. This was a player who I was expecting to have another breakout season, but unfortunately his season has been ended before it even got started with this Achilles tear. And you kind of do feel bad for Darius because Darius, of course, over the offseason, the Ravens put I believe it's called they put a tender on Darius where he was in a weird situation where he couldn't find another team who was willing to bring him in, so he had to come back to the Ravens. I'm sure that probably frustrated him because he wanted to get a long-term contract, and situations like this is exactly why a lot of these players are usually fighting to get their money, because now he's in a spot where there's no guarantee he'll ever get his money. Like, I don't know what the Ravens are going to do with him from this point forward, because now next season he won't be on the roster technically, and I don't know if they're going to bring him back, not just because he's going to be coming off of a Achilles tear, which usually takes players 2 seasons to really get back to their old self, but also because of the fact that Darius is going to be in a situation where he still wants his money, and the Ravens are going to have all the cards to say, we don't have to pay you a big contract, which that alone may fuel him to just leave. And even if he has to go sign a minimum type of contract with another team, he may do it. But from a team standpoint, obviously this is a major blow. The Ravens love running 3 safeties out there at the same time. That was their plan going into the season. They drafted Malachi Starks with the hope that was going to be one of their goals this season. That still can technically happen, but it's just not going to include Darius, of course. This is major for Malachi Starks because I wasn't expecting, regardless of how good Malachi was and is, I wasn't expecting Malachi to be the day 1 starter. I was expecting him to be more of a rotational player who can come in and, get in where he fits in, even though he's more talented than Darius, but he's still a rookie, and Harbaugh typically doesn't want to play rookies unless he absolutely has to. But now this is a situation where he technically doesn't absolutely have to, but he probably will anyway. So Malachi will be that number 2 safety next to Kyle Hamilton for this season. We're going to need him, of course, to have a major rookie season. Not saying he has to be the best safety in football, but just saying we need that football IQ to show up. We need him to complement Kyle Hamilton very well. And on another note, when it comes to the second-year safeties that we picked up last year, we're going to have to give these guys a chance. Like, guys like Bo Braid or Sanusi Kane, some of these guys who last year never got an opportunity, even though we were seeing struggles in the safety position, specifically with Marcus Williams. You would expect that one of these guys would have gotten a chance, but they didn't go that route. They instead brought in Eddie Jackson, but that's in the past now. As far as the present, you would imagine they're going to try to see what they got in Sanusi Kane and Bo Braid. But only time will tell, I guess, because knowing how the Ravens are, there is a chance that they may get more aggressive when it comes to picking up a veteran safety. I don't think it's necessary at this point because, again, just like how I was on the fence with the Malachi pick in the 1st round instead of waiting to the 2nd because I said, well, we have a pretty solid setup at safety. I still feel the same way now, even with our Darius Washington's injury. I still feel like we're pretty solid at safety. We have a star safety in Kyle Hamilton, and then even though Malachi is a rookie, we have a young, at the very least, he should be a respectable starter right off the gate, if not another star safety in Malachi. So this was definitely a major blow to our secondary. However, I don't think this will be the end all be all. Uh, I definitely feel bad for Ardarius because when you're trying to secure a big contract, this is like the worst possible scenario. So hopefully he stays strong throughout this whole process. But let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think losing Ardarius for the season will be a big blow? Do you think the Ravens will go get a veteran safety? Or do you think that we're going to just let Bo Braid and Sanusi Kane get a chance to show the Ravens fan base what they're made of?